Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Baker Athletic Sports Complex. We are back with Old Blues' first game of the season after the inclement weather last week against Nyack as they face off against White Plains. For the White Plains starting side, we have Melvin Herrera, Stephen Dunn, Jay Weiner Jr., Happy Nakatini, Jolly Ralala, Bruno Garcia, Tavita Nakali, Naula Dawai, TJ Van Rensburg, Ramu Tiki Kalati, Rocket Benetti, Mendez, Eric Naposki. Sunny skies and a beautiful outlook today as Old Blue gets it set up, take on White Plains today. So Old Blue starting side, in the front row we have Diego Macchiera, Laquan Berry, Jimmy Sheridan, Bill Whiteside and Guido Magrini at the locks, Anthony Russo, Manate Akwe, and Joe Basser round out the forwards. Nick Franklin starting at 9 today, Ollie Jenner at 10, Roberto Tenorio, Mike St. Clair setting it up in the forwards, and for the back three we have Timothy Mamasi, Connor Wallace-Sims, and Kieran Jordan. The White Plains set to kick off here as Old Blue look to probably spread the ball a little bit wide against a team that's going to be a little bit stronger up front, a little bit more size. So many Polynesian players in that forward pack, so they're going to have to be able to spread them around early on, tire them out, and then just march up the field. See how well they'll be able to stick to that. For White Plains, it really is about ball movement, ball out of those rucks, being able to just keep Old Blue on their back foot here as we're all set to kick off. The starting whistle, and here we go for the start of Old Blues 2023 fall season. Over Whiteside, but Akwe picks it up. Staying it down as best he can. Franklin. Jenner. Whiteside takes it up. So that Franklin takes it in himself. Back. Damasi, enough pepper on the pass. Gets it out to the wing, maintains possession. Blue still in their own half. Whiteside. Jenner finally gets it out of their half.
Just
Drop backwards.
I'm gonna have to hold the cord in.
Steve there, Jenner. Now with a bit of space. Back in the middle here. That breakdown area is going to be really interesting to watch throughout the day-to-day as White Plains is able to turn it over quickly. White Plains now marching up steadily. Great contact. Did not roll away there in the contact, so that's going to be penalty for White Plains. So that breakdown area is going to be really interesting to watch today as we get a chance to see how quick Old Blue's going to have to respond offensively to that, as White Plains is going to be looking for the Pilfers defensively. Picks it. They have gone out of the back, so scrum to Old Blue.
Here we go.
First real touch for the boards today. White Plains a little bit more size in their forward pack, but will it matter in the first offensive scrum for Old Blue? Size mattered as White Plains was able to overturn the scrum, and now they got a bit of space. Offload there into the 22 area, so now White Plains is trundling forward into the red zone. Bosky got him to the sideline now. Old Blue now having a chance to be able to set up defensively. A quick pick and go. White Plains knocking on the door right now. Old Blue pushing even harder defensively around the ruck. White Plains able to keep their own ball right now as they're knocking on the door. Impressive defensive stop there. Old Blue bossing the ruck just a little bit, but now it's getting close. White Plains tapping on the door yet again. Solid defensive stand as they move into phase 10 here. White Plains all over the ruck right now. Trying to just barrel it in with the forwards. White Plains absolutely demolished there by the 8. Get it out wide now. Spin pass. Just tackled. And a little bit more as Naposki's able to get in there for the score. Great play to get out there in front of the ball, but Naposki last second shift. But also great defensive setup for Old Blue. White Plains didn't get any inches there. Tried to get into the try line. They had to resort to the backs. That's a great stand for Old Blue as well, as they get a chance to just talk about it here in the end zone. Naposki makes his own kick.
Let's go, boys!
White Plains up now 7-0. After an overturned scrum, ended up 7 on the board.
Let's go,
Blue managed to stop White Plains at the front door with their forwards. After a play out to the backs, Naposki finds himself in the end zone. So the kickoff here by White Plains. So for Old Blue here, defensively, it's all about getting the ball back as they do perfectly here. Bounces, Jenner collects. Back here, McQuay with space. Ends up turning it over there. Also in play. They've got a bit of space as Daquan Perry now. Flips in the turf. Maintains possession. White Plains contesting, but to no avail. Sheridan. Franklin manages to get the ball away. Outside the White Plains now with a line out just outside the 22. Sinsa. Player on the field. While we wait, one of the things that make sure that they need to sidle up is their kick chase game, both offensive and defensive, making sure that they're not giving the ball directly to that back three, as White Plains has always had a dangerous back three, but simultaneously, offensively being able to get under those kicks. So the bounces definitely take away their offensive strike, gives the defense time to set up, and as we saw there, we couldn't even make it back to the 40, considering how many times we had to let the ball roll. So for Old Blue, it's really going to be about defensive kick setup, making sure they get the ball out of there as they check out Daquan Perry as well.
Injury timeout.
As we watch, congratulations to Kyle Granby for the selection, let's say Hawks national side. Hopefully his daughter Charlie's feeling a little better. Like Perry's back on his feet, back into it as White Plains looking to increase the lead. Old Blue looking to play a little less rugby in the half. First line out for White Plains. Deep. Ball. And White Plains using that size to march up the field. Ball is loose. Number 9 takes it in. It looks like he'll be there for diving over the ruck and holding on, not releasing. Diego Maciera with the impressive post there, forced the penalty, and now Old Blue gets a chance to be on the offensive. Heads up, coming into Hansen. Good block by Hansen there. Protecting the AV equipment, that's what a great manager does. Some were saying sideline correspondent Derek Wilson would have caught it. Old Blue with their first line out, but it is an overthrow. White Plains now with the ball again. Pass to the outside. An offload, and now with a little bit more space. A skip behind. Very free-flow play style of rugby. Franklin takes, but gets dragged out of bounds. Impressive defensive response for Old Blue. I know they're not used to seeing that style of rugby, but great response by Franklin to be able to get back there on the defensive stop for the receive there. Old Blue, it's about maintaining possession. That are going to be critical as the game winds on. Maintaining possession in very key spots, especially after penalty, will help Old Blue get out of their half. White Plains. Second line out of the day. Over 5 meters out. Go back. Bit of a jump ball, but White Plains receives it. Another quick pass. They're calling for it out wide. Couldn't get a handle on it. 9 is in. Old Blue finding themselves in very familiar territory now as they have to make a stop on their own try line yet again. Great communication by Old Blue. Right there. Right spot. Right clean. Leg drive, gain some positive there out the back. Inside, but to no avail. Excellent stop there. White Plains finding themselves going backwards now as Old Blue is putting on the heat defensively. Quick pass out to the right, skip pass to the wing. And it looks like Naposki flips it up. Out of bounds, that's, yeah.
Yeah, it just shows them the straw hasn't built out the bottom.
Signal was a knock on by Old Blue. Saw the ball pop out after Naposki pass out wide. Forward pass. Old Blue. Ball now offensively. Another chance to get out of their half. Great deep stop there. Excellent movement. Hockey players still being able to stick to their tackles. Old Blue with their second scrum of the day to retain. Heavy push up top. It looks like it's going to be a penalty. The White Plains, as they say, Sheridan stood up. Plains deciding what to do, like it'll be from. Going to get tested all day, defense that piece, about how they respond to those. Yes, the White Plains would put in. Out. Excellent tackle. Right over it. Looks like the White Plains yet again diving over. Looks like it has been held up. Held up in the end zone by Old Blue. Off of the quick tap. Have a word. Captain Aquay. Probably about their behavior around the breakdown. How he's going to be looking for it now. White Plains with the penalty. He'll choose to go with a scrum. White Plains, another offensive scrum. Ball's to the left. Ball is out. The 9. Massey with the tackle. Set up offensive. Nothing doing. Decided on what to. Ball was out of bounds. By White Plains, Old Blue chance. Get out of their own end. About 17 so far, 7-0. Most of the half in their own side, but they've been setting up pretty well. Check out Massey. Brown. Aaron Rodgers last week. Best
Injury timeout.
viable plan. You're just joining us. The score is 7-0. White Plains, Oscu, Fry of the day. Get out of their own end from a line out here. First one was a bit of an errant throw, hopefully. Stick with a close throw. Wind here is blowing just a little bit. Whiteside is able to take that. So it looks like at penalty advantage, they took the bait. Excellent work. Offsides from White Plains. Rather than getting it off the top of the line out, they decide to take it down. And their words cost them 10 more meters as Old Blue able to march up after a little bit of back chat. Is not respected by the ref. Now Old Blue with a line out on their 50, on the 50. Great throw. Tapped backwards. Jenner with the pickup. Now Old Blue with a set up offensively. Out the back to Massey with a little bit of space and more. After breaking 2 tackles. There's one for you now, says Massey. Full head of steam there for Old Blue as they cross into White Plains territory. The ball pops out, and it looks like holding on is the call. Very frustrating end, a rather exciting level of play. Just need to be faster to the breakdown if you're Old Blue. Make it very convincing that there's no way that a White Plains player can get their hands on the ball. Excellent work by White Plains just to be able to slow down the momentum. The White Plains gets right back in. Old Blue territory as Wallace Sims tries to tap it back in, but to no avail. Just outside the 22, White Plains will get a chance to set up for another attack. Watch the play develop. Old Blue having that second for out the back was all it took to really kind of slow down White Plains defense. They had to freeze, but excellent acceleration and push off the contact by Massey, be able to create some space and get into the other side. So turned over, potentially tap back. And taken by Old Blue with an opportunity to get out of their own end. And holding on, says the ref. There will likely be a discussion needed here as the breakdown again needs to be discussed by the ref for both teams. As Jenner takes the kick, it looks like it's going to be out. Excellent boot by Jenner. Putting Old Blue back in White Plains territory. Perry with the throw in now. Popped it out. McQuay picks it up. Managing to slip out of tackles. Old Blue now. Perry with the quick pick and go. Franklin to Jenner. We have Russo now. Getting the extra yards.
Let's go, Joby! Let's go, Joby!
Blue now with the front foot as St. Clair. To Perry. One more. As we see Old Blue's first try of the season. Got it down by Tenorio. From the center position. Beautiful work there. Excellent ball movement. Great front forward ball. Old Blue managing to get on the board now. Sure, what they're saying to themselves is that they just need to continue moving their feet into contact. Great deal of that was just White Plains expecting them to go down off the first hit. Old Blue staying alive and also talking to one another, managing to keep the ball free. After Perry's offload, Mario sees himself going through in for the try. Off the post, no good. Aaron Joyce with the kick. So the score is now 7-5 White Plains.
That's the sharpest tool in the shed.
White Plains will need to figure out what their response will be, as it's pretty clear that they have been playing offense for a little bit too long. They forget how to play defense sometimes when you're so used to being on the front foot. So they have to be able to front up defensively to get the ball back. But for Old Blue, it really is about making sure that they're bossing that breakdown just a little bit more. Old Blue set to receive here. Excellent kick in the wind, carries them all the way through. The wind is blowing north here, a little bit northeast, if you will. Jenner using every bit of that to put it into the wind. And now White Plains finds themselves on the back foot. They have two big towers up there for Old Blue. Find out. Managed to overturn the first one. And they overturn this one as well as Sheridan picks it up off the tap. Perry out to Jenner. Manages to get it back out to Joyce. St. Clair with a bit of space. Almost lost in contact there. But Okoye manages to keep Whiteside. Like Ollie decides to call his own number. There's Perry again off the quick pick and go. They're doing a great job moving the ball here. Just need to make sure that they're bossing the breakdown as usual. Franklin. Russo. Bumbling forward. Franklin again to Perry. Looks like Aquays managed to keep some space. Ball goes out flying out into the Old Blue backfield. Joyce with the carry. Akira by himself. If Old Blue can manage to get around this breakdown, there is nothing but open space. Russo again. Scenario, who already has one try. St. Clair now pushing the pass out to Mossy, who manages to go almost behind the back there to Okway. Had he pulled that one off, we would have already had our play of the year. Again, offensively, Old Blue coming to life here. Defensively, White Plains has to show up a little bit better. Pace may be a little bit too much, as you hear from the crowd here. Watch White Plains on their own in their own end zone, managing to take their own line out. Get a full head of steam now out of their own end. Way thinks twice, and he drops it. But they're going to say that the knock-on was negated, and that it was offsides. And Old Blue's mouth adds on 10 more meters as the ref is trying to establish some boundaries around conduct here. Manages to stay in. Jenner takes it. Joyce with a bit of space. Puts a bit of a knuckleball in there. Naposki receives. Manages to get it to the right wing. And it looks like it's a turnover after the strip. And now we've got ourselves a bit of a race here as Aquay puts it in the middle of the field. And makes his own tackle after the kick. Unfortunately gets wrapped up there. Can't make himself get out of there. If I were Old Blue, I'd leave that ruck alone. White Plains takes. Bump it back. The kick stays in to Mossy, who's got a little bit more speed. That's how he decides to put it to use. I think he's got about 5 broken tackles already, and we're still in the first half. Skip pass out. Joyce manages to cross into White Plains 22 now. Perry. So they're going to say that the hands are on, holding on to the ball. The ref really isn't going to be giving any second chances here. If they make the play and they don't take it, trying to accelerate play for both sides here. Some of BX finest showing up in the crowd here. You can hear him. Harlem's finest. Almost didn't want to claim him. We have fun here. After the penalty kick, White Plains in Old Blue territory. A little bit touch and go with the lineouts here. That wind also proving a factor in all of this as well. White Plains manages to take. Quick offload here. White Plains out the back. Bosky. Right into the arms of Wallace Sims, the best of friends. Greeny holding his own on the tackle. It proves to make the difference there as Old Blue manages to turn it over. McQuay with the contact there, also staying on the turf just a little bit longer. Back up right into way one of the players that crowd silently and to watch as Jenner puts a beautiful floater in the White Plains territory. Now we're seeing the teams level it out. Both sides now have definitely established themselves offensively. Really going to come down yet again, breakdowns, and also the set piece. Old Blue now White Plains territory with Perry throw-in. Decide to go up front. It's taken by White Plains. Perry strips it loose and takes his own. And it looks like the ball was on the ground too quickly for others to be able to find it. And the ref now gonna have another word with Old Blues captain Aquay. White Plains manages to strip the line out. Perry manages to strip White Plains. But with the ball on the ground, Sheridan being penalized for holding on. White Plains being seen telling each other, we got to slow it down. We have to be able to maintain our pace. White Plains here, ready to kick. And it's just to put it in Old Blue territory. So a bit of a chess match here with the set pieces. Both teams, a bit of a liability in this area at the moment. Old Blue just almost stops the front pod. White Plains keep possession. Advantage to White Plains after being offsides by Perry there. Call it. They're also going to penalize there. Perry for the offsides. That'll be a yellow. Too many penalties around the breakdown for Old Blue. Got a little bit over 5 minutes before the first half is up. Oski to take the kick here. Settle themselves around the breakdown. Really back their defense. They have no reason to really go in for some of the, as showing up so well defensively. The way White Plains almost forced their own errors in the way that hold them off so well so far. Oski's. Kick is up through the uprights, increasing the lead from White Plains to 10. Now Old Blue down a man. Spawned right before the half. Neither team playing terribly by any means. Really is going to come down to how well they play that piece. Ball retention, the breakdown. Jenner with the kickoff. By White Plains with the offload and a bit of space. And they're going to call obstruction by White Plains. Old Blue now with a chance to strike before the half is over. Old Blue having to strategize as Perry is off the field, where they don't have a hooker. They do have Diego Macchiera, known to do a bit of hooking in his day. Old Blue with a chance to strike here as we're just under 5 minutes for the half. Magrini to Franklin. Jenner out the back to St. Clair, who flips it up to Massey to Joyce. Joyce managing to stay alive there.
Find it!
Whiteside. It looks like the turnover happened. And that looks like it'll be a forward pass. Advantage play to Old Blue right now. And, only a finger away, but Franklin in there for the score. After Tenario almost found himself in there for two. A simple offload to Franklin. Now ties up the match at 10. Franklin, great heads up there. Great work by Old Blue, just managing to stay up. Ball was overturned after an errant offload. White Plains aimed to offload there. It was forward pass, sorry. Picked up by Old Blue. Quickly moved into the end zone by Franklin. Joyce with the kick to take the lead. All the way through it goes. Old Blue takes their first lead of the day right before the half, 12-10. Great work by Old Blue, just responding after the card and after the penalty kick. Manages to get the penalty after an obstruction. Gets the ball down the field. Quite literally holds their own. Get Franklin in there for the try. A bit of back and forth right now. White Plains and Old Blue. White Plains aims to kick off here. Ball will bounce. White Plains almost tapped it forward there, but Jenner recovers. Unfortunate there for Old Blue. That ruck may need to be reviewed, as Akwe was still bound to the players. He's explaining to the ref simply did not see him there, and that's where the turnover came from, as Akwe was still bound to the player. Number 6 pushed through but didn't unbind Akwe, and now they get a chance to review it, as the ref on field just simply did not see. This would need to be reviewed. Six wants to contest. And so it looks like that is correct after the review. But they're going to say high tackle first. I think it was the right move, considering Akwe was still bound to the tackled player. But great work by the touch to be able to review it. That's why we have ARs, as we think about how that play would have gone the other way. Jenner has been on fire today. After the penalty kick, puts it deep in the White Plains territory now. Playing with a man down here Old Blue looking to strike again. Macchiero will be the one to throw it in. Taken by Old Blue. To Jenner. Mario. Manages. Find the turf. Old Blue out the back. Quick pass to Joyce and out to Mossy, who's got a bit of space. He's been excellent all day. And they're going to call a penalty there. Will they apply? A card will be the question. Penalties around this breakdown. Been an interesting case all day. The ref will review with the sideline judge. Old Blue offensively, it really is about just maintaining possession. They don't necessarily need to do anything flashy, just given White Plains isn't making tackles. They're falling off just a little bit. They should do a little bit more in terms of aggression, really just maintaining possession. They don't necessarily need to run multiple player plays, really just run it down White Plains' throat and be able to actually be able to push themselves over through the try. So they're going to give Mossy a yellow card for leading with the forearm there. Interesting turn of events. Old Blue on the front foot. The ref foul play. White Plains with the kick. McQuay playing it out of his own half. And they're going to say not rolling away. And it looks like he's going to get a card now. So now we see 3 cards in the first half. Sure, for the ARP, be very interesting to review some of these rucks, some of the behavior around them. Cards being worse. Old Blue now playing with 13 men on the field. Garbage time here as Joyce is going to take this kick. Half.
Go, Mikey!
Fishbone, I want you to know that this mic is hot. So a little bit too far to the right. That'll be the half as Old Blue ekes out a very close lead here, 12-10. So we're back here in the second half as Old Blue kicked off White Plains. White Plains to receive their own kickoff. Managing to break through now is White Plains, who drops it forward. They will consider that a knock on. White Plains breaking open early on there, but to no avail.
That's a yellow. He got hit with the yellow ball.
Yeah, I thought so.
It looks like DeMonte Noble on the field. DeJuan Perry is back on from his yellow card.
20 minutes something, you need to warm up. I can take over.
Our reserve
You had to warm up too.
on Barry. It's his first chance to wear an Old Blue shirt. Old Blue with a chance now. We're going to talk near the mic, get away from it. Old Blue with their offensive put in. Tackled immediately is Barry. Manages to turn it over now. White Plains playing a little bit more aggressively. Flips it out behind his back. Nobody in front of him. And it looks like White Plains is going to manage to get in for the score. After the turnover, after the scrum. The quick response for White Plains to take back the lead. 15-12 with the kick to come. Quite simply there for Old Blue, it's about just getting the ball out of that scrum as fast as possible. White Plains has a very familiar 9 playing there. Knows the rules just enough to bend them. Great reaction time as Naposki lines up for the kick. White Plains, they came out of the gate already. Remember, breaking into the open field there, getting the ball back, scoring. So that aggressive offensive push ended up ending them with 5 with the kick to come. Old Blue, it's about responding now. Oski up, pushed a little bit left, be no good. Score will remain 15-12. Old Blue now to kick. Jenner with the kick. And forward, and that looked like it was tapped. Touched by a player in front, but they're going to say it was tapped forward. Touched by a player, but the ref is going to say he'll just consider the knock-on instead of the offsides. Important to remember that Old Blue is still playing with a man down with Mossy. Card probably about minutes or so left in his card. Barry again to put in for Old Blue. Manages. Keeping the ball in just a little hair too long. Mario. Whiteside. Looks like he was holding on there before contact was released. Playing the ball on the ground. Says ref. Perry calling for the ball out left. Jenner going down the pace a little bit. Into the street. Old Blue with a chance to strike back. Perry with the throw in here. Now we'll get a chance to see if the wind affects the throw-ins for Old Blue. Decide to go up front. Ball's out. Spinner. Calls his own number. The white side. Big head of steam here, and now it's Old Blue that's knocking at the door. And advantage has been gained as well for holding on. Barry out to the left. Quick pass. Not enough. We'll take the penalty. White Plains now in their own end zone. Old Blue with a couple of options. McQuay calls his own number and threw off the quick tap. Easy enough. And McQuay finds himself with his first try of the season. Old Blue taking the lead back, 17-15 with the kick to come. McQuay just catching White Plains lacking, for lack of a better term. Manages to squeeze in there for a try. And a rather easy kick to come for Joyce. White Plains just switching off there. Defensively, this has been a test for them all day, just making their tackles, getting in the right place, putting themselves in the Old Blue offense. Joyce. Chance to cushion the lead. Chips it through. Extends the lead to 19 now. White Plains set to kick off. Back to Old Blue. Headline. Having a few. Old Blue checking on the bench. Roughly under 2. Left. White Plains puts it deep. Perry takes it. Moves it to Joyce. And it's right back into White Plains territory. Deep. Noble defending. Naposki keeps it in, however, Joyce receives. Takes it right back up now. There's Joyce with a bit of space now. St. Clair, McGreeny, Sheridan. On the ball. Right there again, there's that breakdown discussion that we've been having earlier. Scenario. Wrapping in there is Perry. White Plains trying to show up defensively now. The ball is on the ground, and White Plains has it with a bit of space and a bit of speed. White Plains with the quick chip, looking for 50-22. Jenner collects, puts it back out, but it was lost. But they're going to say that Old Blue was not recycling back around, so White Plains will maintain possession with the penalty. For Old Blue there, it was that they weren't getting back onside after the kick. Making no effort. Now White Plains with a chance to strike. Back the lead. White Plains defensively. It all over the place. Not lining up on the man, hoping he can kind of up for some gaps that they're. Old Blue is utilizing them about ball retention offensively for Old Blue. White Plains offensively really just need you move the ball around, putting Old Blues on their back foot. Line out there, taken by White Plains. Taken in by the number 6 after his yellow card is over as well too. White Plains with a quick offload. Another quick offload. Feel that ball movement again. The ball squirts out. And it looks like he's been held up in the try line. It looks like Akwe was the one to receive him in the end zone. It'll be a dropout for Old Blue on their own goal line. Like, as a player on the ground at the moment. Like era. Slow to get up there. Blue man, another impressive defensive stop on their own goal line. Red zone offense. White Plains doing just a little bit more offensively once they get into that gold zone. They're utilizing the quick pass. They have the good ball move. They're actually catching Old Blue on their back foot quite a bit, but it really is about converting at this. Checked out by Irene Lee. Second half, Old Blue and White Plains, where is 19. Absolute drag out battle here, back and forth for both teams offensively. That piece, real liability here in terms of possession. Cards have been already around the breakdown. Like, go is pass field for likely concussion testing. Brock Duncan take his place. Jenner with the dropout. Brock to the middle. Excellent tackle. White Plains now trying to put some threats in there. Quick take. Plains manages to stay inbounds now. Show and go in space with a quick offload, and now we see White Plains returning the fire as they manage to get into the end zone there. Like their number 5 was the one. Practicing those quick offloads has been a real help for White Plains, as Old Blue will get snagged onto the first, but now they need to be able to resource themselves defensively a little bit better after that first contact to be able to make that tackle. Score now is 20-19. The posse's kick to come. Oski. South now. Like, no problem at all for Naposki as he kicks it through. Increasing the lead to 22 for White Plains. Naposki, an ex-Old Blue athlete. Kicks off here. Heaved by White Plains. Quick pick and go. White Plains now looking to play a little bit more aggressively. Their own end. Gets it out the middle. Ollie takes. They're outside the 22, so Joyce is going to try and keep it in as best he can. Taken back by White Plains. Naposki tries to get away from Joyce but can't as Old Blue manages to stop White Plains in their own half. Box kick, puts it high. Straight out. Taken from the kick. Line out. Old Blue line out. Tried to go for the quick there. Mossy, who absolutely stellar today. Yellow card added to his name. Well, Perry to throw in here. Out the back they go. Gets a positive Old Blue bounce, but knocked forward by Mossy. The throw was not straight. Like White Plains. Take the scrum. Very interesting choice to go out the back on such a windy day for Old Blue. Even though White Plains has been managing the front decently enough, with Whiteside up front, they got Magasi as well, or Magini, sorry, as well. Would think that they would be able to trust those threes up front, be able to receive the own ball. So, Old Blue, White Plains scrum. Looks like Russo makes an impressive defensive stop there. Really bossing the breakdown as Russo there as White Plains expecting to have nobody in front of them, but ran into a wall. Aquay right there over the ball, again staying on his feet. And it doesn't look like there was a convert over there. Old Blue's showing up really well defensively. Perry now, after the chip. White Plains manages to receive. Take there. Maintaining possession as White Plains as they kick it back to Old Blue. Mossy back. Decides to move it to Joyce. To the ever dangerous Noble, who's going to be able to take off and more. Nobody in front of him. One man to beat. Breaks it back in, puts it in for the score. Old Blue answering back with the strike of their own. An impressive step there for Noble. Score now 24-22 with the kick to come. White Plains really should have known better considering that they're kicking it in the middle of the field with a lot of weapons dangerously back there already set up for Old Blue. Joyce, Jenner, and Noble back there already set, and they decide to kick it in the middle of the field. Too many options really for White Plains to cover considering how sparse they've been on defense, and they turned it into an easy 5 points there as you see Noble up the sideline managing to beat White Plains winger with ease there. Try in the corner, Joyce with a very clutch kick coming up. In the wind. A little bit pushed too far to the right. So the score will remain 24-22. The lead changes today, I believe, have been 5. Been counting correctly. As one team scores, the other one will respond. So this time, ball is literally in White Plains court to do something with it, as Old Blue has been responding to all of White Plains' answers throughout the day. White Plains, their defense has been letting them down, not being able to get around the field laterally enough, really depending on their shooters coming out of the line to kind of frustrate Old Blue's offensive set, but they're set up deep enough for Old Blue to be able to find those extra level players to get the ball out wide. The White Plains now to kick off. About halfway into the second half now. Pick is up. Heaney bounces off a hip, off a foot of St. Clair and under the post for try number 2 for number 5. And as I said, the quick strikes keep happening. The lead changes keep going back and forth. As one knocks down, the other one goes back. Strikes again. So White Plains finds themselves again in the lead, 27-24, with a kick to come. Very makeable kick for Naposki. Not managed to kick off the kickoff. Naposki puts it through. Extending the lead now to 29-24. And that's Old Blues time. Right back. Definitely setting itself up for an ESPN Classic. Baka Sisi Kakala now on the pitch as well for Old Blue, looking to make an impact. Kick is off. Akwe takes the kick expertly. Joyce flips it out the back to Jenner. St. Clair with a heavy bit of contact, and now it's Old Blue now on the front foot. Jenner. Errant pass into Old Blue's backfield. Perry with space and a quick move, and he sees himself in the open field, but it is lost and kicked back by White Plains and received. They're going to say it was a knock-on first. Impressive phase of play there to try to keep the ball alive, but as said before, for Old Blue, it really is about ball retention. Some of these tricky areas, White Plains, very free space. So here's where the set pieces begin to make the larger impacts as we to the 60th minute on. Here's where both teams have to be able to settle in and recognize where the game lost. Old Blue here got a little bit of momentum on their side. White Plains needing to battle out of their own. Kick defense has not been great all day. Boots it, keeps it in to an ever dangerous Monate or DeMonte Noble. As we see him bumbling forward there into the red zone for White Plains. Mario with space, flips it out to Mamasi, who gets himself free, and that's the strike back we were just talking about 3 minutes ago, as Old Blue responds with one of their own yet again. Tying it up at 29 apiece. How much of this is going to come down to defensive stands as both teams now find themselves kind of scrambling against each other's back lines. Mossy definitely putting his name in there for player of the game. Mossy with his second try on the day. Almost reminds you of a pass winger who also used to score. Very quick with his step. Wonder where that guy is. Hope he's all right. With Joyce with the kick. A little bit too far left, and now it's knotted up at 29. And here's where set piece matters. Here's where defense matters. Slipping off of tackles, the breakdowns. Really reducing the number of penalties for each team, as now this is where the fatigue starts to show up and the mistakes follow shortly after. The White Plains to kick off. Old Blue mishandled the last one, which led to a quick White Plain try, making sure to get somebody under it this time. Sourced it heavily, but it doesn't look like it's going to go 10. Choice for Old Blue looks like it's going to be a take the scrum at the 50 instead of the re-kick. Switched hands with the microphone, and I noticed that my palms are sweaty, but my knees aren't weak because I'm sitting down and my arms are resting on top of my legs, so they are not heavy. Old Blue now with the chance to strike against White Plains. Try and take back the lead. Barry to put in. Bounces back out. Ends up turning, and that will be a penalty for White Plains. As the ruck has been, or the scrum has been spun. That set piece difficult for Old Blue there. White Plains now with a chance to strike and take the lead as well. Just inside the 22, White Plains will get a chance to strike. Old Blue have been relatively positive in their own end zone, their own red zone, sorry. White Plains utilizing the quick offloads if Old Blue's defensive set can manage to get around that breakdown fast enough to really silence those quick offloads and really get a hand on that ball. You'd actually see White Plains offense stifle a little bit. White Plains to throw in. Bit of trickery. Brock manages to collapse a maul by himself. White Plains maintains possession. And now for Old Blue, it's about maintaining the defensive structure, managing those quick offloads. Brock with a quick contact, putting them down to the ground. They're going to say that that was offside. So now it's White Plains now with the advantage, and they're going to give him the offside. And White Plains deciding on what to do. They're going to say points. A little over 10 minutes left to play. Naposki been relatively consistent on the day. Will take the kick. Old Blue, this is a bit of a positive. The fact that White Plains is not really wanting to test them defensively anymore may be a bit of a signal here that White Plains needs to take their points when they can get them. And that can also be a nice boost for Old Blue as well, to know that they can just hold on to the ball, really tire out that White Plains defense. This is how you end up having a slow White Plains offense. Kick is up and through. The White Plains now with the lead, 32-29. Carr Williams now on the field as well. Old Blue with a chance. Kick off here, potentially get the ball back if they can maintain that defensive structure, force a kick. White Plains has not been doing well with their kick offense or kick defense. Center to kick off, White Plains to receive now. Kick down the middle. Joyce with a couple of options, chooses to boot it back. That may be very well a 50-22 as Joyce was able to put it out there as they try to do a quick line out yet again, but Joyce getting it behind that White Plains defense. Now gives Perry a nice throw in and Old Blue a chance to strike back. The kick defense has been letting them down for White Plains as they can't seem to get in a well enough formation to really kind of put themselves in an advantageous position. Perry throws it, Akwe receives. Ball begins to creep forward. Ever so slightly now. White Plains manages to get down to the bottom of it, and it looks like they have been slowing it down. And that looks like that is going to be a penalty try as he was caught tripping. So the penalty try there, an easy strike back for Old Blue. Automatic 7. Very interesting choice by the ref to not award the penalty and the card, as that was incredibly blatant there. Off the maul, tried to tap and go, a very deliberate grip there, but no card will be issued by the ref. So with the automatic 7, White Plains now recognizing that the clock is ticking as we are under 10 minutes. They decide to go quick to the other side, flipping it over to Mossy, who boots it to no man's land. Almost found himself in a similar position with another 50-22. A great field position for Old Blue, but now White Plains has to ask itself some questions about its offensive approach right now. Hands are on hips and knees for White Plains. Momentum sits with Old Blue here at home. And the set piece to come up. A space for White Plains that they haven't been super confident in all day. 36-32, with a little over 5 minutes left to play. Loss by White Plains, flips it out to Vaca Sisikakala, to Jenner, who decides to put it behind. White Plains needing to dot it down, and they do. Brought in, says the ref. So that means that it will have to be a goal line dropout there, as it was brought into the try by White Plains. And a very unconfident White Plains kick goes to a very confident Old Blue kick receive. Danger on both wings. And it's going to one of the wings just over his head, collected by Joyce. Ballerina footwork there. Excellent tackle by White Plains. Slow down the offense there. Old Blue with a time to strike. And also a time to slow down the ball, take some time off the clock. St. Clair flips it out, but it's lost by DeMonte Noble. Myself $1 or $2 in jar for getting these names wrong. Couldn't receive, get past. For Old Blue, given that we're just around the 5-minute mark, this is where they can slow down the ball when they have it offensively, but defensively really frustrate White Plains by preventing those quick offloads. For White Plains, it's all about pace right now. Quick strikes off the ruck will be their positive as they get their own line out. A quick flip. And it looks like Jakar Williams is tied up there. Doesn't really know what to do. Releases. Tap back there by White Plains with a bit of space. They flip it out to the wing, who decides to put it onto his boot, turning it over. And Mossy now with a bit of space and more. A little bit too dangerous. That was a bit of a high tackle. They're going to say it was clean. And they're going to say that the ruck was formed. Diving over is the call. For Old Blue, it's about ball retention now. Time off as we see an injured player on the field for White Plains. Mossy slow to get up after the contact. So I said before, as the fatigue sets in, this is where the skills matter. Set piece matters. For Old Blue, been going toe-to-toe with White Plains all day at home and has a chance to put it away here after the penalty kick.
Injury timeout.
After the penalty. Time off, says the ref, as they check in. White Plains players. Number 5. 2 tries already on the day. Mossy now getting up, also 2 tries already on the day. Jenner. The chance to put Old Blue a really nice side of the field. Old Blue's pace has been impressive today, managing kind of stay on the front foot offensively so long as they have the ball in hand. Jenner to kick. It's an easy one out into White Plains territory. Now for Old Blue, it's about slowing down the clock. Faster to the breakdown here. Don't need to flip the ball out wide. If they go with the front pod, very risky move to go with the back, and it's not straight. And that's why it's risky. Now White Plains gets a chance to strike back. They'll go with a scrum. Clock continues to tick here, so White Plains will need a quick strike. White Plains has actually seen success from the midfield more than the red zone during today, as one broken tackle seemed to get them up the field by about 30-40 meters. So for Old Blue, even more so in open play, just going to be able to solidify their defensive structure by staying close, being able to scan out a little bit more. Defensively, they have the speed. So White Plains put in. Taken. Taken in the 4. Flipped up. Taken by Old Blue and kicked away by Joyce. White Plains now. Perry chasing. Takes him. Turned over there. Dangerous play. And it looks like they're saying that coming into the ruck, Russo led with his knee. Dangerous play. White Plains with about 2 minutes to go. A whole field in front of them. Ref says have to take the kick from the penalty. Manages to get it out just at the 22. So now White Plains with what looks like to be one last-ditch effort to win this match. If the ball is kicked into the stands, you do not get to keep it. Not have the budget. So now White Plains really needs to figure out what it's going to do. Time off as the White Plains player on the deck. So if you're Old Blue, it really is about try to get them to force White Plains to go around them. They don't have the speed running down the wings, but one slip or quick offload, very big turn. The White Plains takes their own line out now. And it's lost forward. Russo takes it. And here's where Old Blue can end the match. Perry. Brock takes it down. Now here's where Old Blue needs to check the clock with the ref. If the game is over, this is where you can kick it off. Baka Sisi Kakala. Quick offload, and they're going to say that it's a knock-on. The ref watch says that time is still going. Not enough time has elapsed here at the end of the match. Our clock says that we are past, but with the injuries, I'm sure that means that we've got about 2 minutes or so left. Crucial time here now for White Plains. Old Blue digging their heels in the dirt. Impressive defensive display in the past 10 minutes for them. Old Blue with a put in. Quickly taken out. Mario with the hit up and the drive. Old Blue may actually score out of this. And they do. And it looks like Akwe manages to find his second. And with that try, that was the fourth of the day, so that's a bonus point and the win. Impressive 80 minutes for Old Blue today, as the kick after will seal the game. For White Plains, impressive display as well. Need to sidle up on defense, need to get their kick chase together. Making sure their quick offloads are a little bit cleaner. So it looks like Joyce. If you can hear the fans right now, we did it. Coming in. We're going to monitor his language as well as the kick is up. And they're going to say that there's still some time left on the clock. The game that doesn't end goes on and on, my friend. For the score, 43-32. White Plains really looking for their own bonus point at this point. Stay in the mix. Old Blue, decisive win at home. They're going to want to make this playable. Looks like it may be right on the money. Taken by Tenorio with space. And Akwe with his third try on the day. A hat trick hero is Akwe. So 48-32 with the kick to come. Anybody reading the stat line would think this game was a lot further apart than it really was. But Akwe with his third try on the day. Beautiful performance, but great take by Tenario. The ball didn't go 10. He decided to call his own number, puts his man away. Excellent displays all around. Really hard to say who is the player of the game today. Akwe with 3 tries, but so many extra efforts shown by Perry. The ball sails through, and there's the game. So it's almost as if the ref wanted that extra try to be snuck in there. So 50-32 is the final. I want to be able to thank Jeremy, Harley, and the beautiful Ryan Manning. If Harley can scope down. Harley, give the man what he wants. Go ahead, give the man what he wants. As we scale down to the newly engaged Ryan Manning. So celebrations all around as Old Blues able to scale out the win against White Plains. So thank you all from Columbia Athletic Sports Complex. I'm your host, Derek Lipscomb, signing off for now. I'll see you soon.